Lord Marshal Dreir leads from the front, despite his lofty rank and often to the horror of his superiors. That he and his loyal Greek steed have emerged from so many battles alive and victorious speaks to his skill as both a commander and a cavalry soldier. Hi, it's Tactifux, and today we're looking at Lord Marshal Varnan Dreir, the 6th character for the Astra Militarum. Yes, Titus won't be the sole exception anymore, and while it's a shame we won't get more regiments of the human forces as separate factions, it leaves open ample opportunities for a lot of factions that seemed finished before. Like, I wish, so much for a 6th AdMech character with the release of Mechanicus. He's going to become available from the 21st of September, when he is the featured character of the Battle Pass, as usual for the release of epic characters. You can earn additional shards for him in the Purge Order home screen event from October 5th to 11th, where you'll earn points for killing Tyranids. So be sure to choose the Tyranid campaign event when that comes around. It and Purge Order will overlap for 3 days. We're going to talk about his looks, his stats, his abilities, his legendary event viability and his mythic mission line when you get him to Blue Star. Let's jump straight in. Varnan Dreir is a Lord Marshal that hails from Krieg, a world that still seeks to atone for a rebellion and thus craves a glorious death on the battlefield of the 41st millennium. Because of that, they search out the deadliest battlefields and don't care much for their own life. They and their shovels have somewhat become a meme, that is even somewhat integrated into the game already. Heirloom entrenching tools, anyone? As their home planet is mostly uninhabitable, they tend to be expert gas mask users, and often are portrayed with them, as is Dreir. Even his Greek horse has one. Both have a bionic right leg, and Dreir sports a power cavalry saber. He looks as regal as he should be, and I really enjoyed his model. Only the feet of his steed, they give me the creeps. Let's see what he can do. Dreir's health is placed 17 along 10 other characters, including Ragnar or Asgore, which is fairly tanky. His armor, though, is pretty bad at place 71 with Darkstrider, the Neurotrope or Etana. Characters that rely on high armor penetration with lower base damage won't be able to use their trump fully against him, but he's susceptible to low pierce attacks with high damage. Bolstering his survivability, he features the Resilient trait, allowing him to fall to 1 health before dying if not overkilled. He also has a block equipment and a block booster slot to make him a bit more sturdy. His passive, Tough to Kill, makes him, well, tough to kill. It makes him regenerate a good amount of health every single round. If leveled accordingly, it's around 1/3 of his total health pool. That's way more than the Necrons. Furthermore, attacks against him have their crit chances reduced by an amount depending on the ability level, up to 35% from level 36 on, and 30% from level 18 to 35, and 25% below that, and additionally deal reduced crit damage. The healing included, he will actually be really hard to remove, especially if you combine him with Isabella. For his offenses, Dreir is quite fast at move 4. Combined with Unstoppable, he will be able to choose his targets most of the time. He attacks with a saber and thus only has a melee attack that deals 3 power hits. His damage is quite high. It is in place 18 against no armor, the same as Azrael, and in place 14 against infinite armor, again the same as Azrael and as Aetana. Those are some solid attack stats. For his active, leading the charge, he charges with Infiltrate and does around 20% more damage than his normal attacks. After charging, he summons up to 4 Death Riders next to himself, which are also unstoppable and use the fun Rough Rider lances with the grenades at the top, which makes no sense but makes them deal an additional hit of blast damage on the charge, and are generally quite high quality summons. Dreir seems like a decent offensive character, a nice one-time charge that can summon a good amount of interesting summons, and will live through a lot of punishment. High damage, low pierce characters will definitely be his bane though, think Tiag, Snotflogger or Lucian's melee attack. For legendary events, this character looks kinda bland. 3 hits and power as the only damage type is quite low in demand, as everyone and their mother have it. There's 19 Imperial characters with power damage total. Resilient has 15 characters without Xenos. But in no Chaos tracks, he could be useful at only 7 characters being available. For his Unstoppable, that is also a rather rare trait, with only 8 characters in no Xenos tracks and 8 in no Chaos tracks. But yeah, that's it. You know, I still think that he will be great in wave-based endurance modes due to his massive self-heal and the resilience against crits he brings. Combined with Isabella, he will be very survivable. His active brings a few bodies more to the table. You won't be able to use him a lot, but if you can use him, he'll shine. He'll also be quite good in Guild Wars due to his resilience and summons. Now, before we get to the mythical part, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe to the channel and maybe also considered using my referral code BAD60ADU for 100 Blackstone for you and some rewards for me depending on your growth in game. Both of those things would help me out a lot. Thank you all that did either of those things so much. For Dreir, there exists no unique relic yet. I would have assumed that those will start being released with newer characters, but it seems like I was wrong, so we'll go straight for the Mythic missions. Mission 1 is defeating 2 overwatching enemies with Dreir in one battle. For this you will need Sybil and some Havocs. Go to Fall of Cadia Mirror Elite 24 where you have 3 Havocs. Thanks to Walk Boss Heinz from the Discord who first mentioned this level to me when discussing Certus Mythic missions. Keep to the left and kill the first one with Sybil's help. This prevents your riders from setting off the other's overwatch, which you can just kill with your active later on. Mission 2 needs you to heal 2500 health in one turn. This is interesting. Not much to help you with that, as it only uses your ability and Dreir himself, so no outside help here. Assuming you're not at Mythic already, level 48 of the ability is the first one that will let you regenerate 2500 or higher health. Or maybe pick up a survival health item, I don't know if those will count. So you will need plenty of investment in a passive, which while useful will not be on a crucial character for high reward modes, which, especially with how many legendary Imperial badges you need anyways, not a lot of people will do. Even if you get to Mythic first and try to do the mission then, you will need level 47, but at least this saves you 8 badges. Mythic 3 needs you to summon 80 units. This is just grinding. You can use On-Chi in Arena to speed things along. You will need On-Chi for Mythic 4 anyways. Summoning 8 units in one battle needs an ability refresh. I'm not a fan of needing a single specific character for a mission, so technically there will be an active reuse power up in a survival somewhere down the road that allows this as well. Mythic 5 once again needs you to deal enough damage again. You can take your time and won't need to do it in one battle, so we'll eventually get it. Use buff characters to make it faster if you want that. So that's it for Lord Marshal Dreir. I really like the style and I think he will be quite fun gameplay-wise, but is rather niche in legendary events and doesn't strike me at all as a guild raid character. In survival events he will definitely shine, and I can imagine him being quite cool to use in Arena. Guild War enthusiasts will love him for his resilience as well. What do you think of him? Let me know in the comments. If you're bored, why not watch one of my other videos on screen right now? Farewell and have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one.